I welcome you all to the course on recommender system which is going to be offered in Swayam NPTEL platform. So, my name is Mamta Janamani. I am from the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, IIT Kharagpur. And in this course, we are going to talk about various aspects of recommender system. To start with, let us try understanding what recommender system is. In fact, without even knowing what it is, we know that it is around us. It is one of the most successful applications of AI and ML. Now look at this. I tried searching for the textbook on recommender system. It is by Charu Agrawal, and when I tried searching it, I got what are the other books which are frequently bought together. And I also got to know that what are the other popular titles by the same author, and the people who are buying this book, what other books they are typically trying to buy. So, how do I get all this information? This information at a fingertip, it is coming instantly to my screen, and based on this I can make many choices which I was already not knowing. Now, if we look at all the digital applications that we see around us, everywhere there is recommender system. In fact, it has become some kind of integral part of our digital lives. Look at this, when we watch movie in Netflix, we get many recommendations, friend recommendations on Facebook, and we have our recommendation in the sites like LinkedIn, in Google News site. So, everywhere there are recommendations, and when they do this, take this recommendation, they have to model our activities. Let us first look at what are various commercial applications of this. To start with, let us see the first one, which I have already told you, the e-commerce applications. The e-commerce application, Amazon is one, but almost all the e-commerce sites have this particular recommender system associated with them. Now, coming to e-commerce site and the history of recommender system in fact started with e-commerce. Around 1990, when internet became commercialized, e-commerce started getting a boom, and to enhance the business of the business of those e-commerce sites where you do not have direct connectivity with the customer, they came up with the idea of recommender system. Second application is media streaming. Example is of course Netflix. Third could be social media like that of Facebook. Here we get friend recommendations, we get certain target advertisement and so on. Then our Google News. When we open Google News, we also have personalized news recommendations based on what all news we have seen in the recent past. Online advertisement. When you open your search engines, let us say Google search engine, the kind of advertisement you get is going to be entirely different from the advertisement of another person's search engine page. Why it is so? Because these advertisements are targeted to us based on our own activity. Online dating site Tinder, it again tries matching different personalities and try to provide dating options. Then travel and accommodation like Airbnb, it also looks at our choices and preferences of other people who also give similar choices, and we get recommendations. Third one could be video gaming, which again is a streaming platform. Depending on what kind of games we play, we get further recommendations. Food and restaurant recommendation. Then comes educational course recommendations. Music streaming platforms like that of Pandora and Spotify, they also provide us with recommendations looking at our choice of songs and the kind of rhythms we typically prefer. Beyond this, we are also going to look at these recommender systems in the healthcare domain. Financial services, automated customer support, library and book recommender systems, typically in the digital library websites and many more. So, if we look at beyond commercial applications like that of e-commerce sites, we have many more applications which need not be even have direct commercial value if we look at the kind of application that we are considering. Behind the recommender systems, there is a digital engine that drives the personalized experience of the user based on user's own choice and the choices of the like-minded individuals. So, let us look at this. Behind any kind of application that is successful today, there is always some kind of academic initiative. As I told you, around 1990, internet became commercialized. So, around that time only people tried looking at various prospects how these e-commerce sites can interact with the user even when the actual salesperson is not present. One such initiative which you can say dates back to 1992 is one application which was developed by Xerox Palo Alto Research Center, and it was on making a collaborative filtering algorithm to build an information tapestry. Then GroupLens is another such initiative. Then in Media Lab MIT, there was an initiative to automate this word of mouth. This is also one form of collaborative filtering that we are going to see, and there are many more. And most of these that you can see in 1997, then before that it started with around 90s, and this is up to 1997. And if you look at today's world, we do not have even these algorithms which are quite simple, but we have large and sparse data sets, and because of that we also have algorithms which are using deep learning techniques. One of the very important push to the recommender system research at the early stage was because of this Netflix prize. This Netflix prize was opened in 2006, first prize was given in 2007, and subsequently 2008 and 2009 two such competitions were held. And in this they provided the data and they tried people to apply their own algorithm on this data, and so that they can beat the performance of the existing algorithm which was then existing by Netflix. And if we look at, even with very small improvement, people were adopting new algorithms even for very small improvements. And if we go back to the previous slide, this Yehuda Koren and Robert Bell and their group from AT&T Bell Lab, they were the winner. And from 2009, this particular prize was actually discontinued. But anyway, during this process, some of the advanced algorithms which are today used in most commercial systems got developed because of this push. In the meantime, many conferences, academic conferences which motivates the research community as well as the application developers came into place, and one such conference which was named exactly after this particular area, that is called ACM Conference Series on Recommender System. It started in 2007 and it continues. And in the meantime, there was one journal which is exactly on this title recommender system, which means recommender system as an application of machine learning becomes so important that besides the similar papers appearing in other journals, there was a dedicated journal for this purpose. And if you look at this, this is the content. So, this is not limited to only commercial applications, and we have applications as well as theory pertaining to recommender system which gets published in this particular journal. So, this is a concise taxonomy of recommender system, and this is what we are going to follow. If we look at this, recommender system can be viewed from 4 different aspects. Of course, the primary of this is the model. Then comes the data. Then there are various challenges for which which has to be handled through different algorithms. Then evaluation strategy, performance evaluation strategy of the recommender system. If we look at the data first, the component that is data, this data can get generated in many ways. One is called explicit way, another is called implicit way. This explicit and implicit data basically relates to whether the user directly gives the feedback or indirectly. When we talk about this feedback is basically the feedback of the user on the item in terms of certain rating. So, besides this, looking at the user's behavior, this feedback can be generated. So, this is called implicit feedback. Next comes the side information like user feature, item feature, various context in which the recommendation is getting generated. So, those are some of the other data that is also required. And when it comes to models, there are certain classic models. 2 important classic models are content based recommender systems and collaborative filtering based systems. Again, there are as we move ahead with the taxonomy, these collaborative models can be memory based, it can be model based. Similarly, content based can be model based. And when it comes to model, basically these models are machine learning models. So, they can be supervised or unsupervised depending on the kind of data. These supervised models can generate predictions or they can generate classifications. Similarly, memory based models use similarity measures and corresponding distance measures. Besides these classical approaches, which in general can be combined to generate many hybrid approaches, we also have various other kind of recommender systems like network based recommender system, time and location aware recommender system, context aware recommender system, social and trust centric recommender system, and so on. Then when you develop these algorithms, we have to evaluate them. What are various ways in we can evaluate? Online evaluation, user studies where the study is done in a control environment by real users. Then offline environments like our generic machine learning algorithms we use with certain trained data and test data, and various measures we use for evaluation purpose. The metrics like metrics which are for accuracy are this root mean square error, mean absolute error, and so on. And when it comes to challenges, recommender system is a case where the data is very large as well as sparse. So, there are many challenges associated with processing this data and developing algorithms. Now, for example, consider these are some of these challenges. Now, consider the case of cold start problem. In the case of cold start problem, when a new user comes in or a new item comes in, then providing recommendation due to lack of data becomes little difficult. So, therefore, it is a challenge which has to be handled by the algorithms. So, as you have seen, recommender system has many aspects. In this particular course, I will try to cover as much as possible. This is a 8 weeks course. I will not say that I will be covering all the areas of recommender system, but all the basic algorithms as well as challenges, evaluation methodologies, and so on, including the data, how to collect the data, I will try to cover as much as possible. And as I have already told you, this is one application of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, therefore, the techniques which otherwise you study in such courses will be applicable here. So, therefore, even if I do not go in depth into those algorithms and concepts, I will try to make this course as independent as possible, including many of the things which I require to be covered and while explaining the algorithms and various concepts. So, I look forward to see you in this course. Thank you everyone.